The moment you stop letting people control your emotions, is the moment you become impossible to control. They can criticize you. They can ignore you. They can try to make you feel guilty. They can push your buttons and test your patience. But if you master your mind, they lose their power over you. Welcome to Stoic Ascension, where we explore the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and learn how to build a stronger, calmer, and more disciplined life. Before we begin, share your thoughts in the comments. What is one way someone has tried to manipulate you in life? And if you want more powerful lessons on Stoicism, subscribe to Stoic Ascension. Now let's begin. Imagine this. A man named Marcus walks into work one morning. He has prepared for an important presentation for weeks. He knows his information, he is confident, and he is ready. But before the meeting starts, his coworker says, "You probably won't impress anyone." The manager already has someone else in mind. Those words hit Marcus instantly. For the rest of the morning, he feels nervous. He starts doubting himself. He loses focus. But then he realizes something important. His coworker did not control his presentation. His coworker only controlled a few words. Marcus gave those words the power. This is the first lesson of Stoicism. People cannot control your mind unless you surrender control to them. The Stoics understood something thousands of years ago that many people still struggle with today. You do not control what people say. You do not control what people think. You do not control how people act. But you always have power over your response. And your response determines your freedom. Many people live like prisoners of other people's opinions. Someone compliments them, and they feel valuable. Someone criticizes them, and they feel worthless. Someone ignores them, and they feel rejected. Their entire emotional state is controlled by outside forces. But a Stoic builds a different foundation. A Stoic says, "My peace does not depend on your behavior." That is where true strength begins. The first way people manipulate you is through your emotions. Manipulation often starts by making you feel something intense. Anger. Fear. Guilt. Shame. A person who can control your emotions can often control your actions. Think about an argument. Someone says something disrespectful to you. Your first instinct is to react. You raise your voice. You defend yourself. You try to prove them wrong. But the person who stays calm has the advantage. Why? Because they are thinking while the other person is reacting. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the mind has power over impressions. An event happens. Then your mind creates meaning. Then your emotions follow. The event itself does not destroy your peace. Your interpretation does. A person insults you. The insult is outside your control. But whether you carry that insult for 5 minutes or 5 years is your decision. Imagine someone throws a stone at you. You can pick it up and carry it everywhere. Or you can leave it on the ground. Many people carry emotional stones every day. They carry old insults. Old betrayals. Old opinions. Old moments where someone made them feel small. Stoicism teaches. Put down what was never yours to carry. The second way people manipulate you is by making you seek their approval. One of the strongest forms of control is making someone believe they need your acceptance. Many people change themselves just to be accepted. They hide their opinions. They ignore their values. They say yes when they want to say no. They become a version of themselves designed for other people. But the Stoics believed your character matters more than your reputation. Because reputation belongs to other people. Character belongs to you. A story from ancient times tells of a Stoic philosopher who was mocked by others because he lived simply and refused to chase luxury. People laughed at him. They said he was poor. They said he was missing out. But he remained calm. Why? Because he understood something. A person's opinion of him did not change who he was. A gold statue does not become less valuable because someone calls it a rock. Your worth does not disappear because someone fails to recognize it. Stop giving people the power to define you. The third way people manipulate you is through guilt. Some people use guilt to control your decisions. They make you feel bad for having boundaries. They make you feel selfish for protecting your peace. They make you feel responsible for emotions that belong to them. A Stoic understands the difference between kindness and surrender. Being a good person does not mean allowing everyone to control your life. You can care about people without becoming controlled by them. You can help others without destroying yourself. You can love people without losing yourself. Boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are wisdom. A person who truly respects you will respect your limits. A person who benefits from your lack of boundaries will try to make you feel guilty when you create them. That reaction reveals something important. The fourth way people manipulate you is by creating urgency. Have you ever noticed how pressure makes people make bad decisions? Someone tells you, "Decide right now. Do this or you will regret it." You have no choice. But a calm mind sees clearly. A Stoic does not allow someone else's panic to become their panic. Before responding, pause and ask, "Is this my decision, or am I being pushed into it?" The person who controls the speed of your reaction often controls the outcome. Your power is in the space between what happens and how you respond. That small space is where wisdom lives. That small space between what happens and how you respond is where your power lives. Most people lose control because they react too quickly. Someone says something disrespectful, and they immediately fight back. Someone ignores them, and they immediately chase. Someone tries to provoke them, and they immediately prove they can be controlled. But the Stoic mind works differently. A Stoic does not ask, "Why are they doing this to me?" A Stoic asks, "What is the wisest response?" Because every reaction is a choice. And every choice reveals who you are becoming. The fifth way people manipulate you is by testing your need to prove yourself. Many people waste years trying to prove their value to people who already decided not to see it. They explain themselves. They argue. They defend every decision. They try to convince everyone that they are worthy. But the Stoics understood. A person who knows themselves does not need constant approval from the outside world. Imagine a mountain. A storm comes. Rain falls. Winds attack. But the mountain does not chase the storm and say, "Please stop. Please understand me." The mountain remains. Strong. Still. Unmoved. Your confidence should be like that. Not arrogance. Not believing you are better than others. But knowing your value does not disappear because someone misunderstands you. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Not because you have nothing to say. But because you understand not every battle deserves your energy. The sixth way people manipulate you is by bringing chaos into your life. Some people live in constant drama. Every day there is a new problem. A new conflict. A new crisis. And if you are not careful, their chaos becomes your lifestyle. A Stoic protects their inner world. They understand that peace is something you must guard. Imagine someone walking into your house and throwing garbage on the floor. You would not thank them. You would remove it. Your mind is also a home. Be careful what you allow inside. Every conversation. Every opinion. Every influence. Ask yourself, does this make me stronger, or does this disturb my peace? Not everything deserves access to you. The seventh way people manipulate you is by using your past against you. Some people will remind you of your mistakes to keep you trapped. They want you to believe you are still the person you used to be. But Stoicism teaches growth. A mistake is an event. It is not your identity. A person who learns from the past becomes wiser. A person who lives inside the past becomes controlled by it. Think about a soldier returning from battle. The scars on his body do not mean he lost. They show he survived. Your past experiences can become lessons instead of chains. Do not allow someone to use your old chapters to control your future story. The eighth way people manipulate you is by making you afraid of losing them. Fear of loss causes people to abandon themselves. They accept disrespect because they fear being alone. They tolerate bad treatment because they fear starting over. But a Stoic remembers. Anything outside your control is temporary. People can leave. Situations can change. Opportunities can disappear. But your character travels with you everywhere. The goal is not to become someone who needs nobody. The goal is to become someone who does not lose themselves trying to keep someone. Real strength is being able to say, I value you, but I will not destroy my peace for you. The ninth way people manipulate you is by making you question reality. Sometimes people try to make you doubt what you know. They twist situations. They deny their actions. They make you feel confused. A Stoic responds with awareness. Do not allow emotional pressure to replace clear thinking. Observe. Think. Look at patterns. A single moment can be misunderstood. But repeated behavior reveals truth. The Stoic does not judge based on emotion alone. The Stoic watches. The Stoic learns. The Stoic decides. The 10th way people manipulate you is by attacking your patience. They know if they can make you angry, they can make you careless. Anger feels powerful. But uncontrolled anger is weakness. Anyone can explode. Anyone can lose control. The rare person is the one who remains calm when tested. Imagine someone trying to start a fire. They bring the matches. They bring the fuel. But you refuse to provide the flame. That is emotional mastery. Your calmness becomes your protection. Remember this. People can influence you. But they do not have to control you. They can speak. But you decide what enters your mind. They can act. But you decide your response. They can challenge you. But you decide whether you break or become stronger. The Stoic path is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming disciplined. It is about understanding that your peace is valuable. Your attention is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Stop handing them to people who have not earned them. But protecting your mind does not mean becoming emotionless. A common misunderstanding about Stoicism is that it teaches you to feel nothing. That is not true. Stoicism teaches you to feel deeply, but not to become a prisoner of every feeling. A powerful person is not someone who never feels anger. A powerful person is someone who can feel anger and still choose wisdom. A powerful person is not someone who never feels fear. A powerful person is someone who feels fear and still moves forward. Your emotions are signals. They are not your masters. The 11th way people manipulate you is by making you react to their version of the story. Have you ever noticed that the loudest person in a situation is not always the person who is right? Sometimes people create a story where they are the victim and you are the enemy. They want you to defend yourself. They want you to enter their battlefield. But a Stoic understands something. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. There was a time when a wise man was insulted publicly. People around him expected him to fight back. They expected anger. They expected revenge. But he simply continued walking. Someone asked him, "Why did you not respond?" He answered with the idea that an insult only becomes yours when you accept it. The lesson is simple. Not every attack deserves a response. Some things are beneath your attention. The 12th way people manipulate you is by making you forget your own goals. Manipulative people often distract you. They pull your attention away from your purpose. One day you are focused on building your future. Then suddenly you are spending all your energy fighting unnecessary battles. You are explaining yourself. You are chasing approval. You are trying to prove people wrong. But a Stoic asks, is this helping me become better? Your life is built from your attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Do not let someone else's drama become the main character in your story. Imagine two people walking through a forest. One person keeps looking behind them. They worry about who laughed at them, who doubted them, who criticized them. The other person keeps looking forward. They notice the path. They notice opportunities. They keep moving. Years later, the second person has traveled far. The first person is still standing in the same place, fighting battles that already ended. The past cannot be changed. But your direction can. The 13th way people manipulate you is by making you chase what they withhold. Some people give attention, then remove it. They give kindness, then become distant. They create a cycle where you constantly try to earn what should be freely given. A Stoic recognizes this pattern. Peace does not come from chasing. Peace comes from knowing your value. The person who constantly needs to be chosen forgets that they can choose themselves. Do not beg for respect. Do not beg for honesty. Do not beg for basic consideration. Your standards teach people how to treat you. The 14th way people manipulate you is by making you doubt your decisions. Sometimes you make a choice. You think carefully. You consider the consequences. But then someone questions you, and suddenly you abandon your own judgment. A Stoic listens. A Stoic learns. But a Stoic does not surrender their mind. Advice is valuable. Control is not. There is a difference between someone guiding you and someone trying to own your choices. Wisdom listens. Weakness follows blindly. The 15th way people manipulate you is by attacking your confidence. Some people feel uncomfortable when they see someone growing. Your improvement reminds them of their own lack of action. So they try to reduce you. They say, you have changed. You think you are better now? Who do you think you are? But growth will always look strange to people who are comfortable staying the same. A tree does not apologize for growing taller. A river does not apologize for moving forward. You do not need permission to become better. The Stoic path is a path of self-mastery. Because the greatest victory is not defeating another person. The greatest victory is defeating the part of yourself that can be easily controlled. The part that needs everyone to like you. The part that reacts instantly. The part that fears rejection. The part that gives away your power. Master that part of yourself, and your life changes. Because when you control yourself, the world loses the ability to control you. The world will always contain people who test you. People who challenge your patience. People who try to pull you into unnecessary conflict. But remember this. A person who controls their own mind is stronger than a person who controls others. Because controlling others requires their cooperation. But controlling yourself requires discipline. And discipline is something nobody can take away from you. The 16th way people manipulate you is by making you feel responsible for their happiness. Many people spend their lives carrying emotional weight that does not belong to them. They think, if they are upset, I must fix it. If they are disappointed, I failed. If they are unhappy, it must be my fault. But Stoicism teaches responsibility, not emotional slavery. You are responsible for your actions. You are responsible for your character. You are responsible for how you treat people. But you are not responsible for controlling every emotion another person experiences. Imagine holding an umbrella for someone in the rain. Helping them is kindness. But carrying them everywhere so they never feel the rain is not your responsibility. People must walk their own path. The 17th way people manipulate you is through comparison. They make you look at someone else's life and question your own. They say, "Look how successful they are. Look what they have. Why aren't you like them?" But a Stoic understands. Comparison steals focus from your own journey. A person running their own race does not stop every few seconds to compare their speed with someone else. They focus on the path ahead. Your mission is not to become someone else. Your mission is to become the strongest version of yourself. The 18th way people manipulate you is by using your kindness against you. Kindness is a strength. But without wisdom, kindness can become a weakness. Some people see a generous person and think, "How can I benefit from this?" They mistake patience for permission. They mistake forgiveness for acceptance. They mistake kindness for weakness. A Stoic heart can be kind while still having boundaries. You can forgive someone and still walk away. You can wish someone well and still protect yourself. You can understand someone's struggles without allowing them to destroy your peace. The 19th way people manipulate you is by keeping you emotionally attached to their approval. Some people become addicted to being accepted. They check how others react. They change their personality depending on who is watching. They become actors in their own lives. But a Stoic asks, "Am I living according to my values, or according to people's expectations?" The ancient Stoics believed the greatest freedom comes when you stop being controlled by external things. Money can disappear. Status can disappear. Popularity can disappear. But your principles remain. Build a life that does not collapse when applause disappears. The 20th way people manipulate you is by making you forget the power of silence. Silence is often misunderstood. Some people think silence means weakness. But sometimes silence is the highest form of control. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain calm, you are showing mastery. When someone expects an emotional reaction and receives wisdom instead, you have changed the entire situation. Silence gives you time to think. Silence protects your energy. Silence prevents you from saying things you will regret. A person who cannot control their words often cannot control their life. Think about a chess player. A beginner moves because they are excited. They see one opportunity and immediately act. But a master thinks several moves ahead. Life is the same. An emotional person reacts to the moment. A Stoic considers the consequences. Before you speak, think. Before you act, think. Before you allow someone to affect your peace, think. Ask. Will this matter tomorrow? Will this make me stronger? Is this worthy of my energy? These questions protect your mind. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be people who judge you. There will always be people who try to pull you away from your purpose. But you do not have to fight every person. You do not have to explain every decision. You do not have to prove your worth to everyone. A lion does not stop walking because a dog is barking. The lion knows who it is. Your confidence comes from knowing yourself. Your peace comes from mastering yourself. Your freedom comes from no longer allowing others to control your emotions. The final lesson is this. The strongest person is not the person who can control everyone around them. The strongest person is the one who has complete control over themselves. Control your thoughts. Control your reactions. Control your attention. Control your choices. Because when your mind belongs to you, nobody can manipulate you. If this message gave you a new perspective, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me. What is one thing you will stop allowing others to control in your life? And subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful lessons on Stoicism, discipline, confidence, and building an unshakable mind. Remember. Protect your peace. Master your emotions. And never give someone else the power to control your mind. Have you ever reached the end of a difficult day and wondered if you're truly living, or simply surviving? One day, every person watching this video will face the same truth. Money won't matter. Titles won't matter. The opinions of strangers won't matter. In that final moment, only one question will remain. Did you live wisely? If you want to avoid the regrets that destroy people at the end of their lives, stay with me until the end, because today we are exploring the Stoic lessons that can completely transform how you live, think, and face the world. And if you're ready to become mentally stronger, leave a comment saying, "I choose wisdom." Subscribe to Stoic Ascension, and let's begin. Before you die, learn that time is your most valuable possession. Most people spend years protecting their money while carelessly wasting their time. Yet money can be earned again. Time cannot. Imagine a wealthy businessman who spent his entire life chasing success. He worked every weekend, skipped family dinners, and told himself he would enjoy life later. Years passed. His bank account grew larger, but his children grew up without him. One evening, sitting alone in a large house, he realized something painful. The years he traded for money could never be bought back. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves that life is short. Not to become afraid, but to become awake. Every morning is a gift that has never existed before and will never exist again. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop delaying your dreams. Stop assuming tomorrow is guaranteed. The life you're planning for someday is happening right now. Before you die, learn this. Your time is your life. Spend it carefully. Before you die, learn that you cannot control everything. Many people suffer not because life is difficult but because they fight reality. They try to control the weather. They try to control other people's opinions. They try to control outcomes. And when things don't go their way, they become angry and frustrated. A farmer once planted crops and prayed for perfect weather. When rain came, he complained there was too much. When the sun appeared, he complained it was too hot. No matter what happened, he found a reason to suffer. His neighbor accepted whatever came and focused only on working his field. At harvest time, the second farmer was peaceful while the first remained miserable. The difference wasn't circumstances. It was perspective. According to Stoicism, some things are within your control and some are not. Your actions are yours. Your attitude is yours. Your character is yours. Everything else belongs to life. The moment you stop fighting reality, you gain freedom. Before you die, learn that people will misunderstand you. No matter how kind you are. No matter how honest you are. Someone will judge you unfairly. Someone will criticize you. Someone will dislike you for reasons that have nothing to do with you. A young artist spent years creating beautiful work. Whenever someone criticized him, he lost sleep. He replayed their words over and over. One day, an older mentor told him, "If you stop for every barking dog, you'll never reach your destination." That advice changed his life. The Stoics understood that reputation is fragile. Trying to please everyone is impossible. The people who change the world are rarely understood by everyone. Live according to your values. Not according to applause. The crowd changes its mind every day. Character remains. Before you die, learn that suffering can become strength. Nobody wants pain. Nobody asks for hardship. Yet some of the strongest people were shaped by their struggles. A blacksmith places steel into fire. The heat seems destructive. But without fire, the steel remains weak. Life works the same way. The breakup. The failure. The rejection. The disappointment. Each challenge can either break you or build you. The choice belongs to you. Stoicism teaches that obstacles are not roadblocks. They are training grounds. Every challenge carries a lesson. Every hardship carries an opportunity. Pain is often the teacher wisdom uses. Before you die, learn that your thoughts shape your reality. Two people can experience the same event and walk away with completely different lives. One sees disaster. The other sees opportunity. A traveler was caught in a violent storm. One passenger panicked and cried throughout the journey. Another sat quietly and adapted to the situation. Neither controlled the storm. But each controlled their response. The Stoics believe that events themselves are not the problem. Our judgments about them create suffering. You cannot always control what happens. But you can control the story you tell yourself about what happens. Choose your thoughts wisely. They become your future. Before you die, learn to be comfortable alone. Many people fear silence. They fear being alone with their own thoughts. So they fill every moment with noise. Music. Social media. Entertainment. Distractions. A wise man once spent an entire afternoon sitting beneath a tree. Someone asked him why he wasn't doing anything. He smiled and replied, "I'm listening." Listening to what? To himself. In silence, he discovered clarity. In stillness, he discovered peace. The Stoics valued solitude because it allowed them to understand their own minds. If you cannot enjoy your own company, no crowd will save you. Learn to sit quietly. Learn to reflect. Learn to know yourself. Before you die, learn that anger is expensive. A few moments of anger can destroy relationships built over years. A merchant once became furious with an employee over a small mistake. In his rage, he insulted and humiliated the worker. The employee left. Years later, the merchant admitted that his anger cost him one of the most loyal people he had ever known. Anger often promises power. But it usually delivers regret. The Stoics viewed anger as temporary madness. When emotions rise, wisdom falls. Pause before reacting. Breathe before speaking. Think before acting. The strongest person is not the one who defeats others. The strongest person is the one who masters himself. Before you die, learn that success without character is failure. The world celebrates achievement. Fame. Money. Status. Power. But Stoicism asks a deeper question. Who are you becoming? A man built a successful business and became wealthy. Everyone admired him. But behind closed doors, he lied, cheated, and betrayed those around him. When his success disappeared, nobody remained loyal. Why? Because he had built wealth without character. Character is the foundation that survives every storm. Without it, success is temporary. With it, even failure becomes honorable. Focus on becoming a good person. Everything else is secondary. Before you die, learn that gratitude changes everything. A woman complained constantly. Her house was too small. Her job was too difficult. Her life was unfair. One day she visited a hospital and met people fighting battles she could barely imagine. As she left, she realized something important. She had been focusing on what was missing instead of appreciating what was present. That realization transformed her. Gratitude does not mean life is perfect. It means you recognize the blessings that already exist. The Stoics practiced gratitude daily. Not because life was easy. Because life itself was a gift. Look around. There is more to appreciate than you think. Before you die, learn that death gives life meaning. Most people avoid thinking about death. The Stoics did the opposite. They reflected on mortality regularly. Not to become fearful. To become intentional. Imagine receiving a letter that says you have 1 year left to live. What would you stop worrying about? Whose opinion would suddenly seem unimportant? What dreams would you finally pursue? What conversations would you stop postponing? The awareness of death sharpens the value of life. Every sunrise becomes precious. Every conversation becomes meaningful. Every moment becomes a gift. Remembering death teaches us how to live. Before you die, learn that happiness is an inside job. Many people spend their entire lives chasing happiness in external things. A bigger house. A better car. More money. More approval. Yet satisfaction always seems one step away. A traveler searched the world for happiness. He crossed oceans and climbed mountains. After years of searching, he met a wise elder. The elder said, "The happiness you're seeking has been traveling with you the entire time. True peace comes from within. It comes from mastering your mind. It comes from aligning your actions with your values. It comes from living with purpose. External things may add comfort, but they cannot create lasting peace. Only your character can do that. Before you die, learn that every day is a chance to begin again. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've wasted time. Maybe you've failed. So has everyone else. The Stoics never expected perfection. They expected progress. A man once asked a philosopher how to become wise. The philosopher replied, "Start today. Not next week. Not next month. Today." Every sunrise offers a new opportunity. A new choice. A new direction. You are never too old. You are never too late. You are never too broken. As long as you're breathing, you can begin again. As we come to the end of this video, remember these words. Before you die, learn that time is precious. Learn that you cannot control everything. Learn that people will misunderstand you. Learn that hardship can make you stronger. Learn to master your thoughts. Learn to enjoy your own company. Learn to control your anger. Learn to build character. Learn gratitude. Learn the value of mortality. Learn that happiness comes from within. And most importantly, learn that every day is a chance to become better than you were yesterday. The Stoics didn't promise an easy life. They promised a meaningful one. Before you leave, I want you to imagine something. Imagine that you are much older. Your hair has turned gray. Your face carries the marks of every challenge you survived. You sit quietly and look back on your life. At that moment, what will matter? Not the arguments you won. Not the trends you followed. Not the possessions you collected. What will matter is the person you became. Did you have courage when life became difficult? Did you remain kind when the world became cruel? Did you stay honest when lying would have been easier? Did you keep going when everyone else gave up? These are the questions that matter. A Stoic understands that life is not measured by comfort. Life is measured by character. And character is built one choice at a time. Every day you are writing your story. Every reaction. Every decision. Every action. You are becoming someone. The only question is whether you're becoming the person you truly want to be. A wise old teacher once told his student, "The greatest tragedy is not dying. The greatest tragedy is reaching the end of life and realizing you never truly lived." The student asked, "How do I avoid that fate?" The teacher smiled and said, "Live each day as if it matters." Simple words. Powerful truth. Many people wake up and immediately complain. They complain about the weather. They complain about work. They complain about traffic. They complain about problems. But they forget something important. The fact that they woke up at all is a gift. Some people went to sleep last night and never opened their eyes again. You did. That means you still have opportunities. You still have choices. You still have time. And as long as you have time, you have hope. The Stoics understood that life is unpredictable. Fortunes rise and fall. People come and go. Circumstances change without warning. That's why they built their happiness on something stronger than circumstances. They built it on virtue. On wisdom. On discipline. On courage. on self-control. These things cannot be taken away by bad luck. A storm can destroy your house. It cannot destroy your character. Someone can take your money. They cannot take your integrity. People can criticize your choices. They cannot control your soul. This is true freedom. Not freedom from challenges. Freedom from being controlled by challenges. Think about a tree during a storm. The winds are fierce. The rain is relentless. Branches bend violently. Yet the tree remains standing because its roots run deep. Stoicism teaches us to build deep roots. When adversity arrives, and it will, your roots determine whether you stand or fall. Most people focus on appearing strong. Stoics focus on becoming strong. There is a difference. Appearing strong impresses people. Becoming strong transforms lives. One is temporary. The other lasts forever. Another lesson worth remembering before you die is this. Never underestimate small daily actions. Many people want dramatic change overnight. They want instant success. Instant confidence. Instant discipline. But life rarely works that way. A stone is not shaped by one drop of water. It is shaped by thousands. A strong body is not built in one workout. It is built through consistency. A wise mind is not developed in a single day. It is developed through daily practice. Read a little every day. Learn a little every day. Improve a little every day. Be patient with yourself. Small improvements eventually create extraordinary results. A young man once looked at a mountain and said, "It's impossible to climb." An older hiker replied, "You don't climb a mountain in one step. You climb it one step at a time." The same is true for life. Stop focusing only on the summit. Focus on the next step. Then take another. And another. One day you'll look back and realize you've traveled farther than you ever imagined. Perhaps the greatest Stoic lesson of all is understanding that life owes us nothing. This may sound harsh at first. But it is actually liberating. When we expect life to be fair, we become bitter. When we expect life to be easy, we become disappointed. When we expect life to give us what we want, we become frustrated. But when we accept life as it is, we become resilient. A sailor cannot control the sea. But he can learn to navigate it. Likewise, you cannot control everything life brings. But you can control how you respond. That response becomes your power. That response becomes your legacy. That response becomes your destiny. And one final lesson before we close. Do not wait for permission to become who you are meant to be. Many people spend years waiting. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for approval. Waiting for the perfect opportunity. Waiting for someone to believe in them. Meanwhile, life keeps moving. The truth is that confidence often comes after action, not before it. The perfect opportunity rarely arrives. And sometimes the only person who will believe in you at the beginning is yourself. Start anyway. Take the first step anyway. Speak anyway. Create anyway. Try anyway. Fail anyway. Learn anyway. Grow anyway. Because action creates momentum. Momentum creates progress. And progress creates transformation. Years from now, you will not regret the risks you took while pursuing a meaningful life. You will regret the opportunities you never embraced because fear convinced you to stay still. So as you finish watching this video, ask yourself. What is one thing I need to start doing today? What is one fear I need to face? What is one habit I need to build? What is one excuse I need to leave behind? Don't just listen to wisdom. Apply it. Don't just admire discipline. Practice it. Don't just study Stoicism. Live it. Because knowledge without action changes nothing. But knowledge combined with action can change everything. If you've stayed until this point, you're someone who wants more from life. You're someone who wants wisdom instead of excuses. Growth instead of comfort. Purpose instead of distraction. And for that, you should be proud. Now I want to hear from you. Which Stoic lesson impacted you the most today? Share your answer in the comments below. Your words may encourage someone who needs guidance right now. And before we part ways, I want to leave you with a thought that could change your life forever. One day, without warning, you will experience something for the last time. The last walk outside. The last conversation with someone you love. The last sunrise you will ever see. The last laugh. The last opportunity. The last breath. The strange thing is that you won't know it's the last time when it happens. That is why the Stoics refused to waste life. They understood that every ordinary moment is secretly extraordinary. The coffee you drink in the morning. The friend who sends you a message. The family member who calls to check on you. The quiet evening after a long day. These moments seem small. But one day, they become memories. And memories become treasures. Never become so busy chasing the future that you fail to appreciate the present. Because the present is where life actually exists. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Right here. Right now. A Stoic does not spend life waiting for perfect conditions. They create meaning from whatever conditions they have. If life gives them sunshine, they are grateful. If life gives them storms, they grow stronger. If life gives them success, they remain humble. If life gives them failure, they remain determined. This is the power of Stoicism. It teaches you how to remain steady in an unstable world. The world will continue to change. People will continue to disappoint. Unexpected challenges will continue to appear. But a disciplined mind remains calm. A wise heart remains strong. A Stoic soul remains free. Think about all the great individuals throughout history. They faced hardship. They faced criticism. They faced uncertainty. Yet they endured because they learned a truth that many never discover. Your greatest battle is not against the world. It is against the weaknesses within yourself. The laziness that whispers, "Do it tomorrow." The fear that whispers, "You're not good enough." The anger that whispers, "Get revenge." The doubt that whispers, "Give up." Every day these voices appear. And every day you must choose which voice to follow. The path of comfort is easy. The path of growth is difficult. But only one of those paths leads to fulfillment. The Stoics chose growth. And so should you. When you wake up tomorrow morning, remember this video. Remember that your life is limited. Remember that your time is precious. Remember that your thoughts shape your reality. Remember that your character is your greatest asset. Remember that every challenge contains an opportunity to become stronger. Most importantly, remember that you are responsible for the person you become. Not your past. Not your circumstances. Not other people's opinions. You. Every choice matters. Every action matters. Every day matters. A year from now, you can be stronger. Wiser. Calmer. More disciplined. More confident. More fulfilled. But only if you start today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because life rewards action. And action begins with a decision. So make that decision now. Decide to stop making excuses. Decide to stop doubting yourself. Decide to stop wasting time. Decide to become the person you were meant to be. The journey will not be easy. There will be setbacks. There will be failures. There will be days when you feel like quitting. But remember this. The strongest people are not those who never fall. They are those who rise every time they fall. And every time you rise, you become a little stronger. A little wiser. A little closer to the person you are capable of becoming. That is the Stoic way. That is the path of self-mastery. That is the path of greatness. Before you close this video, sit quietly for a moment and reflect on this question. If everything in your life stayed exactly the same for the next 5 years, would you be happy? Most people never ask themselves that question. They stay in habits they dislike. They stay trapped in routines that drain them. They keep postponing the life they truly want. Then one day they wake up and realize years have disappeared. The Stoics warned against this kind of unconscious living. They believed that every day should be examined. Every evening, they reflected on their actions. What did I do well today? What mistakes did I make? How can I improve tomorrow? Imagine the power of asking yourself those questions every day. Not to criticize yourself. Not to feel guilty. But to grow. A ship that never adjusts its course eventually drifts far from its destination. The same is true for your life. Small corrections today can prevent major regrets tomorrow. Remember, life is not a race against other people. It is a journey toward becoming your best self. Stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop measuring your worth by what others have achieved. A rose blooms in its season. A tree grows in its season. Everything in nature develops at its own pace. Why should you be any different? Trust your journey. Trust your growth. Trust the process. The Stoics understood something many people forget. Progress is often invisible. A seed buried underground appears unchanged. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. Strength is developing. Growth is happening. Your efforts work the same way. The books you read. The discipline you practice. The habits you build. The lessons you learn. Even when results are not immediately visible, transformation is taking place. Keep going. The breakthrough may be closer than you think. There is another lesson worth carrying with you. Do not allow bitterness to poison your future. Many people carry old wounds for years. A betrayal. An insult. A disappointment. A broken promise. They replay these memories repeatedly until the past controls the present. A wise Stoic once said that holding on to resentment is like carrying a burning coal while expecting someone else to be burned. The longer you hold it, the more damage it does to you. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was acceptable. It means you refuse to allow the past to control your future. Let go. Move forward. Protect your peace. Protect your energy. Protect your mind. Because your attention is one of the most valuable things you possess. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention constantly focuses on negativity, your world becomes darker. If your attention focuses on growth, gratitude, and purpose, your world becomes brighter. Guard your mind carefully. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every battle deserves your energy. A lion does not turn around every time a dog barks. Likewise, you should not allow every distraction to pull you away from your purpose. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay committed to what truly matters. And remember this. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your daily habits. Great lives are not built in a day. They are built daily. One choice at a time. One action at a time. One disciplined moment at a time. Every day gives you 2 options. You can move closer to your goals. Or you can move further away. You can strengthen your character. Or weaken it. You can build momentum. Or lose it. The choice is always yours. That is both the responsibility and the beauty of being human. You have the power to change. You have the power to improve. You have the power to become more than you are today. Never underestimate that power. History is filled with ordinary people who achieved extraordinary things because they refused to quit. They kept going when progress was slow. They kept going when others doubted them. They kept going when the outcome was uncertain. Persistence transformed them. And persistence can transform you too. So if you feel discouraged today, remember. You are stronger than you think. You have survived difficult days before. You have overcome challenges before. You have endured storms before. The strength that carried you through those moments is still within you. Trust it. Develop it. Use it. And as you continue your journey, carry this final Stoic reminder in your heart. Do not seek an easy life. Seek the strength to handle a difficult one. Do not seek fewer challenges. Seek greater wisdom. Do not seek constant comfort. Seek lasting character. Because character will carry you further than comfort ever can. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. If this message inspired you, write Stoic until the end in the comments below. Share this video with a friend who needs encouragement. And subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more timeless wisdom, mental toughness, self-discipline, and powerful Stoic teachings. Until we meet again. Walk with courage. Think with wisdom. Act with purpose. And keep ascending. Fire Eagle. Stoic Ascension.